What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports and Match you guys with another video. This video, I'm here with my AFC East 2020 NFL draft grades, continuing my coverage, doing all draft grades for all divisions in the NFL. And for the AFC East, I've already did the AFC North and the AFC West, and both of those divisions really killed the draft. Now, when we get to the AFC East was not too shabby in their own right. Now, before I get into it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because I upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. And in my opinion, I think I have the best off-season NFL coverage and YouTube. I mean, when people get to this point after the draft, they struggle to find things to make videos about and video ideas and things like that. But me, on the other hand, I mean, the best content, in my opinion, comes at this point of the off season after the NFL draft. So make sure, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great content I'm about to put out on the channel. So let's start off with the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins had an absolutely phenomenal draft. I mean, first they drafted Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback out of Alabama, with the fifth overall selection. Listen, it was a lot of rumors heading into the draft that they were going to go ahead and select Justin Herbert over Tua Tagovailoa. If they would have did that nonsense, I would have absolutely lost it. I would have went absolutely ballistic, and I'm not even a Miami Dolphins fan because that would have been crazy and it would have been dumb. So the thing with Tua Tagovailoa is that a lot of people have been talking about his injuries, injury this, injury that, and I understand the concerns. But listen, Tua Tagovailoa is going to a situation with the Miami Dolphins that he doesn't have to start right away. Basically, he can take this whole entire season to sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick because I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to play bad enough that he's going to have to end up being benched. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a good bridge quarterback, so he can sit behind a year behind Ryan Fitzpatrick, learn the playbook, get accustomed to the NFL game, and then he gets another year to heal up from his injuries. Then they go ahead, they select Austin Jackson with the 18th overall selection, their second round, so well, their second pick of the first round, which a lot of people were had pretty mixed bags on Austin Jackson. Me, I had a first round grade on Austin Jackson. I thought he was one of the best tackles in the draft. Some people had a second round grade on him. Some people had a third round grade on him. So I think Austin Jackson personally is a really solid offensive tackle. Yeah, he needs a little bit of development, but I think throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, he should be good enough to the point that he should be able to start day one for the Miami Dolphins. Then they also select Noah Abdejide from the University of Auburn. This pick really surprised a lot of people. I didn't really understand it. I understand a lot of people say Brian Flores likes high personality guys and things like that, but I mean, you could have got this guy in the second round if you really wanted to. If you really need a slot corner, I really felt you could have went ahead and got him in the second round. So I didn't really like that pick too much. I don't care how many Miami Dolphins fans try to sway me on that pick down in the comment section down below. Still don't think it was a really good pick. But then they make up for it in the second round. You end up drafting offensive tackle Robert Hunt as well out of the University of Louisiana Monroe. I also feel he can play guard as well. So I mean, with the first couple of picks, they've already addressed the offensive line concern. Then they also select Raekwon Davis with their second pick of the second round, who is one of the best defensive tackles in this draft class. Then you get safety Brandon Jones from Texas. Then to add insult to injury, they go offensive line once again, selecting Solomon Kinley out of the University of Georgia, who, in my opinion, was one of the best interior guards in the draft class. And actually, I was a little bit surprised that he fell in the fourth round. I thought he would have ended up going in the second round. Now, Solomon Kinley is a really big, stout, run blocking offensive lineman. I mean, this dude is a really massive human being. If you guys ever seen him in person, now I think he has potential to start day one for the Miami Dolphins. But if not, he should be able to start out as a backup and be groomed into a solid starter. Then they also selected my favorite player in this draft class, or one of my favorite players in this draft class, and edge rusher out of Boise State, Curtis Weaver. This guy had 11 and a half sacks playing for the University of Boise State, and I feel he was the best pass rusher in this draft class coming out of the group of five. They also get Malcolm Perry, the wide receiver from Navy, as well. So the grade I'm giving the Miami Dolphins, I'm giving them an A plus. Although the Noah Abedide pick was a little bit of a reach to me, I mean, other than that, I mean, the whole entire draft was absolutely solid. Well, it wasn't even solid. It was an absolutely great draft. I think they had the third best draft in the whole entire NFL, besides the team who I think had the second best draft in the NFL, which is also in this division as well. So, I mean, for the Dolphins, man, you have to feel pretty confident about the Miami Dolphins going into the season. Now, can they compete? in the division and potentially compete for that AFC East crown? I don't really know. I mean, they look good on paper, but I have to do some more research. I have to do some more due diligence. But I mean, for right now, the Dolphins look really solid. Now, going on to the New England Patriots, the New England Patriots had a pretty solid draft. You selected safety Kyle Duggar, who came out of a Division II college. Now, a lot of New England Patriots fans are really shocked about this pick. They didn't really know that much about him, and they kept saying we already have enough safeties on the roster. But here's why Kyle Duggar is a good fit, right? He isn't just a safety. He can play linebacker too. He can play linebacker and safety as well. So he has the versatility there. So this is a Bill Belichick kind of pick. If you know Bill Belichick loves having guys who can play multiple positions on the defense side of football. So Patriots fans, I mean, Kyle Duggar is more than just a safety. He can play linebacker as well. And with that versatility, that's something that Bill Belichick really likes out of players. Then they also selected the linebacker Josh Uche out of the University of Michigan with the 60th overall pick. You also got Anthony Jennings, the edge rusher out of Alabama, which is some pretty good value there. You also got Devin Asiasi out of UCLA, who is one of the better tight ends in this draft class, has a lot of athleticism. Without a doubt, he's going to be their tight end one this season. You also selected another tight end. You selected Dalton Kinney out of Virginia Tech University. Now, Dalton Kinney isn't all that great of a tight end, but he brings versatility as well. He can play H-back, he can play fullback as well. He can also play tight end. So, I mean, Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels are going to have to find ways to get him involved in the offense with how versatile he is. They also selected a kicker. Not going to try to pronounce his last name, but I mean, this guy, the kicker that they selected in the fifth round, he made 85% of his field goal attempts last season. And then he also didn't really miss that many extra points as well. Then they also got some good value at the offensive line position. So, I mean, overall, I think the New England Patriots had a big draft. I mean, the draft was solid. It didn't really knock my socks off like what the Miami Dolphins did. But, I mean, I think it was a New England Patriots kind of draft. You know, the New England Patriots never really have any drafts like when they draft big talented players and things like that. Well, let me rephrase that. I mean, every player in the NFL draft is talented because, I mean, they made it to this point that they were good enough to get drafted. But, I mean, they always have these drafts. You know, they don't really get none of the best players in the draft class or anything like that. But they have solid drafts. They draft people who fit the culture and fit what they want in New England. So I mean, this is a big draft to me. I think this draft was pretty solid in my opinion. Then moving on to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills first they traded away their first round pick for Stephon Diggs. So their first pick of the draft ended up being AJ Epinesa, the defensive end or the edge rusher out of Iowa, who I felt should have been drafted in the first round, but he dropped in the second round because he had a poor combine in a lot of people's eyes. But I mean, going to the Buffalo Bills is the best thing that can happen to him. I mean, he's pretty big, he's pretty stout. And the Buffalo Bills love their defensive ends like this. And I mean, in Buffalo, I don't think they want the most athletic guy. I think they want the guy who's able to have the best consistency and gets the job done. I think that's AJ Epinesa. In the third round, they went ahead and selected halfback Zach Moss, who I predicted will go this pick in my Buffalo Bills 7th round mock draft. And a lot of Buffalo Bills fans were a little bit upset at the fact that they thought Devin Singletary was going to end up being a workhorse back. But I figured they would end up taking another halfback because it was rumored that they tried to get Melvin Gordon in free agency and they didn't end up getting that contract. So, I mean, Zach Moss, I felt would be a good addition to the Buffalo Bills. He's a power back. He's basically a change of pace back compared to what Devin Singletary brings. Devin Singletary is also powerful in his own right, but Zach Moss is a true power back, a true throwback in the NFL. They also selected a wide receiver out of UCF, Gabriel Davis, who I really liked a lot. He was pretty solid. I think he went around what I projected him to be third, fourth round. Then you also got Jake Fromm. A little bit of a surprise to me that they would use a mid-round selection on Jake Fromm of a backup quarterback. I mean, I understand if you really need a backup quarterback, but I mean, I'm not going to really knock the pick all that much because at least it's better than what the Philadelphia Eagles did in selecting Jalen Hurts in the second round. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock the pick. I think it's okay. Still would have liked them to probably pick up another pass rusher maybe with this selection. But, I mean, I can understand it. You need a backup. Jake Fromm. Okay. Then they select the kicker out of Georgia Southern, Tyler Bass, who was one of the best kickers coming into this draft class behind Rodrigo Blankenship. Then they also select Isaiah Hodges, who is a big sleeper. He had a really good season for Oregon State. Kind of got overshadowed because of how bad Oregon State was last season. Then you got Donnie Jackson as well. So the grade I'm giving the Buffalo Bills, I'm giving them a B plus. I mean, I'm putting them in the same vote as the New England Patriots. I mean, I don't think the draft was all that crazy, but I mean, they got some good value. And I think the grade for the Buffalo Bills draft is pretty solid, B plus. Now the last thing we have the New York Jets. Now the New York Jets absolutely blew this draft out of the freaking water. I mean, let me go ahead and show the grade right now. A plus plus. They had the second best draft behind the Denver Broncos, in my opinion. I mean, they blew this draft out the water. I mean, their first three picks were bam, bam, and bam. You got three guys who can start right away and have big impacts as rookies. First, you select Mekhi Becton, who has probably the best footwork out of any offensive lineman in this draft class. He's going to be a day one star on that offensive line without a doubt, helping protect Sam Darnold, open up those running lanes for Le'Veon Bell. Then in the second round, you go ahead, you select wide receiver Denzel Mills with the 59th overall selection, one of the most underrated wide receiver prospects in this draft. He should be able to start day one. He's a big physical down the field wide receiver, so you automatically find a wide receiver to replace Robbie Anderson when it comes to being a deep threat. Now, all deal, he's not the deep threat when it comes to speed like Robbie Anderson was, but he's a deep threat in terms of his ability to catch the 50-50 balls down the field. Then in the third round, your third straight selection. Well, in your third selection, you select Ashton Davis, one of the best free safeties or one of the best safety prospects in this draft class. I felt he could have ended up going late in the first round, early second, but he dropped to the third. This guy was an absolute stud for the University of Cal. I felt he was the best safety in the Pac-12 last season. So, I mean, your first three picks, you got three guys who are right away going to have an impact for you. Then you got edge rusher Jabbar Zuniga, who I really liked it a lot. And I mean, Jabbar Zuniga is a late first rounder, but the reason why he didn't go in the late first round was for the fact that he struggles with his ability to stay healthy. Then you select LaMichael Pirine. Okay, you find a solid backup for Le'Veon Bell. Then you get James Morgan, the backup Sam Darnold. I mean, if you saw what happened last season when Sam Darnold got out with mono, they struggled to move the ball because they couldn't find a good backup quarterback. So, I mean, James Morgan's a good fit there. He's going to be a good backup. Then you get offensive guard Cameron Clark, who maybe could end up being a little bit of a developmental project, but I think he should be potentially being able to start for the New York Jets somewhere down the line. Then you draft Bryce Hall in the fifth round of the draft. This is a guy who I had a second round grade on, late first round. And I'm really shocked at the fact that he went all the way in the fifth round. I understand the injury concerns, but dang. Did he really have to drop in the fifth round? So you got Bryce Hall, who is without a doubt going to be one of the starters on that New York Jets defense day one when the NFL season kicks off. So right away, the New York Jets got one, two, three, four starters in the NFL draft. I mean, they had an absolutely phenomenal draft. The second best draft, in my opinion, behind the Denver freaking Broncos. And like I've already said, I already revealed the grade A plus plus plus, in my opinion. The New York Jets had a very phenomenal draft. You got great value. I mean, you got guys who should be able to have impact right away. Really great draft by the New York Jets. Best draft in this division without a doubt. So let me know what you guys think about these draft grades down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.